Okay, so I'm making a video in my shed, which is a little weird, probably to most people, but I don't like making videos that are outdoors for various of reasons, and I didn't want to be in the house at the moment, so I just went in my shed. But there's some topics I want to discuss. It's going to be a lot different than my normal content, and yeah, it's just some things that I've seen like from people and from the world and from younger people maybe too, more so. And um, one of those things that I guess is probably maybe some advice like don't don't think you can't do something. I know, like I don't. Okay, you have to at one end be realistic because people will tell you you can do anything. That's not true, and it's not going to be true. But at the same time, you can do things that people think are impossible. So it goes. It's you have to put yourself in a realist state, but at the same time, you can't underestimate yourself too, because people do things that people think are impossible too. So that happens. But don't think you're stuck and that there's nothing you can do. Don't ever put yourself in that mindset. There's always something you can do, and always try to push yourself towards something. Do something hard, and don't compare when you're doing something hard, whatever it is. Whether it's for me, it's weightlifting and math and programming. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't be that person that's like, well, why am I even trying this? Because this person's way better than me. Life isn't about, it's not about you being better than someone else. No, it's you being better than what you used to be. So if you have this, especially if you have this approach in the gym, if you have the approach in the gym, well, I'm going to lift more than this guy, then guess what? You're probably going to hurt yourself or do something not good. And who knows, that guy, like, maybe you're natty and the other guy isn't. You don't even know that. And the guy might have a benefit that you don't, or you don't know. Or maybe the guy's anatomy is different than yours, so it's easier for him to squat because he has shorter femurs and you have longer femurs. Like, there's all these things that come into play that, like, why you shouldn't compare yourself to others, because people are different. Everyone is different. And that's the thing you have to understand. And when you do something that is better than what you've done before, be proud of yourself. And I know people are like, well, pride isn't a good thing. No, it is a good thing. Be proud of what you've done. But don't have like an arrogant pride that makes you think that you're better than others. I know for a fact that when it comes to weightlifting or programming or math, on these things that I like to work hard at, that are hard, that I am not nearly as good as most people. But I am proud of the things that I have done because I know that I'm making progress, and the progress that I have made, I'm better than I used to be. So that is a huge mental clarity right there. You will not, like, I think when people fall into this depression sometimes, and some of the reasons they fall in depression might be because of some of the reasons I just mentioned. Yeah, be proud of yourself. Wow, I just lifted more weight, or I did more reps, or I did this weird. Maybe even do more weight or more reps, but you're practicing a clean and jerk. Wow, I did the clean and jerk way better than I did before. Or wow, I can hit my squat depth way deeper than I used to before. Um, yeah, and this is a little off tangent. When it comes to weightlifting, you guys cannot. Oh, guys are so toxic when it comes to sports stuff. And like when you watch boxers, they're always like, I'm better than you because of this, and you're stupid. And it's like they get paid, boxers and UFC fighters get paid a lot of money to cut each other down and say a lot of stupid things. But men should not treat other men that way. We should be lifting each other up like, hey man, you got this, you can do this. And if someone's doing something wrong, or maybe they are doing it, you can encourage them and be like, hey, maybe you should do that this way. But you don't force them in any way. You can't hold their hand and force them to do things the way you want to do that either, because that's not right either. And just because you think it's the right way to do something, that doesn't mean that everyone else has the same goals as you. Like, and that applies to a lot of things, but it can also, I'm just thinking of one specific thing that it could apply to is like when you talk about weightlifting or bodybuilding or whatever, bodybuilders will tell you to lift a certain way. They'll usually they want you, bodybuilders are trying to go for hypertrophies, for higher reps, or slow down the reps on the descend or whatever else. But people who train for strength don't always do that, and they're not always trying to get big, so the way they train is not necessarily the same. And along with that, a weightlifter is going to be trained way different than someone who just does powerlifting. So you can't compare. It's like comparing apples and pears. There's different, in my opinion. I think there's different kinds of strength. Like the strength, like I guess not really strength. I'm sorry. There's different types of qualities about people when they lift. It's like, yeah, they might have not lifted as much weight as that guy, but guess what? They hit squat way deeper than anyone else, or they can do exercises that a lot of other people can't do. Like this guy can do, I don't know, he can do a pistol squat. Not a lot of other people can do a pistol squat. And maybe it's the opposite. Like this guy can lift way more than the other guy, but he can't really do a pistol squat. People have pros and cons about them, but you have to be happy and proud of what your pros and cons are, and don't, like, again, it comes down to comparing yourself to others. Don't do that. You have to know who you are, what you're good at, what you're not good at, and kind of accept that. Now, you can get good at things that you're not good at. That's a thing. That everyone can do that. But I think there's also limits for everyone genetically too. Even when it comes to weightlifting, like some people just aren't going to be able to bench 405 pounds. It's just not going to. I personally think that most people, there's a lot of people genetically that won't be able to do it. And no matter how hard they try, I don't think they ever will unless they took gear or whatever. So don't think that, like, so don't be too hard on yourself, There's some other things I want to discuss when it comes to younger people as well. Is like, it's like you see, people will see things and they hear things so often, and they'll think because they hear it and see it so often, and they were taught this in school or whatever, or that thing is the right thing. And this is a really dangerous way of thinking. And sometimes people will think so strongly that this thing is the right thing that they won't even consider something else. So it's better to get yourself out of this mindset and be like, okay, well, I know this thing that everyone says is the right thing. Like, maybe I actually do think it's the right thing, or the thing that's whatever. But maybe I should at least look into and listen to these people who say the thing that goes against that thing. A lot of people will be stuck in this mindset of this is it. It has to be this way. It is this way. But they don't even listen or think about or consider anyone else or an opinion that is unpopular or looked down upon. Still listen to opinions and whatever that are looked down upon and that aren't as popular. Because guess what? Sometimes they're right. And being popular does not mean, or having the most likes on something or whatever else does not mean that it's correct. That's up to you to decide. And you have your own mind, and you can think about this yourself. I'm not going to tell you what is wrong or right. I'm not going to bring up my own thoughts about things. But you have your own mind, and you can work through that yourself. That's why God gave us a mind, because that's why he gave it to us, so that we can think through things ourselves. But don't turn your mind off and just accept things blindly. There will always be somebody that doesn't like something about you, that will cut you down in some way. That's just how life is. Don't let that person affect what you do and what you don't do. You do what you do because you have to decide through that yourself. And you have to make decisions that are good and bad for you. Don't, because someone's cutting you down or saying something or whatever, that's usually an issue with them. So don't. It's tough. It's just how life is. There will always be that person or people, or maybe there's a ton of those people, but really, in all reality, you can't let them affect you or anything like that. You have to stand up for yourself, and a lot of things you should do. You should stand up for yourself. I think that's really all I wanted to talk about at the moment. Yeah, so yeah, and don't be arrogant. Don't think you're better than anyone else. I've already went over this. Um, love yourself, but don't love others as well. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it.